bad.
Ooh, mommy like.
Who's making this stuff?
Not me! Whoa!
Not everyone is a fan of long-running franchises or sequels, but it's always a treat when a well-beloved franchise receives a new project after years of radio silence. Reviews for the recent teaser for Shrek 5 have been a bit of a mixed bag. While many are thrilled to see the return of their favorite twists on fairy tale characters, others have criticized the updated animation and feel nostalgic for the Shrek films of their youth. I'm not here to comment on the discourse today, so let's lay it to rest with the introduction. Instead, I want to talk about the potential of the film. Few people will mind the animation change if the story is well written, and I believe 5 key points will help make Shrek 5 a triumphant return for the franchise, which we'll discuss in today's video.
Or this?
If it were real, that would have been agonizingly painful.
Number 1. Returning characters. The most obvious thing we can expect from the next film is the return of previous characters. The Shrek films have an impressive lineup of beloved characters, protagonists, antagonists, or somewhere in between. In the brief teaser, we received confirmation that Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, Pinocchio, and the Magic Mirror would return for the next installment, but the film doesn't need to stop there. One of Shrek's children, his daughter Felicia, seems like she will be a main character as she is the only triplet who appeared in the teaser with a speaking role. Many other characters with updated designs and story should return in the next film. The last time we saw the ogre triplets, they were still young and learning to talk, so with Felicia now in her mid-teens to early 20s, significant time has passed in universe. While it's possible Puss in Boots might not play a significant role in the film since he now has his own spin-off franchise, he returns to Far Far Away at the end of his recent film Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Fans would love to see him return and complete the original trio alongside Donkey and Shrek for a final adventure. Other iconic characters fans will want to see include Dragon, Gingy, the 3 Blind Mice, and the Big Bad Wolf. Former villains who may have had time to plot revenge and return with a vengeance, such as Prince Charming, who has lost his status in Far Far Away after the 3rd film, could also return, though his fate was left ambiguous. The franchise has always succeeded in balancing a large cast of characters, so there's no telling who will turn up or play a significant role in Shrek's next adventure. I, for one, am excited to see how much the old characters have evolved.
This was supposed to be my happily ever after.
Well, I guess you need to keep looking.
Number 2. The Next Generation. In the first few films, Shrek's adventures take place alongside many notable fairy tales. For example, when Lord Farquaad is searching for a wife through the Magic Mirror, he learns about Sleeping Beauty, who has already succumbed to a coma after eating the evil queen's poisoned apple. Clearly, the poisoned apple happens later in Snow White's story, and in another film she's seen interacting with Fiona, indicating that she met her prince and fulfilled her story's narrative, allowing her to live out her happily ever after. If time has passed the same for everyone, it's safe to assume that Shrek and Donkey aren't the only returning characters with children. Shrek 5 may heavily feature the new generation of Far Far Away, now that their parents are older and losing their relevance. We already know that Felicia will play an essential role from the teaser, and she's voiced by the one and only Zendaya. However, I fully expect her brothers, Fergus and Farkle, to make their debuts alongside their dronky best friends. Likewise, Puss in Boots is known to take wayward kittens under his wing, teach them how to wield a sword, and master their own disarming big-eyed stares. Any new protege could help elevate the narrative by throwing a new character in the pre-established dynamic between the ogre and dronky children. Many of the other characters could also have children of their own. Many of the princesses attended Fiona's baby shower when they found out she was expecting, and she could finally return the favor by helping them prepare for their own children. The same applies to Shrek's friends, who have shown up time and again to help him through his misadventures, who may need his advice when taking on parenthood for the first time.
Now, ye ogre, pray for mercy from Puss.
Number 3. Pop culture references. Shrek has always remained relevant in pop culture as the film seamlessly integrated timely references into its films, making them more fun and engaging for the audience. One of the more notable examples is the short spin-off of American Idol, aptly called Far Far Away Idol, which was released alongside Shrek 2 and featured Simon Cowell. My family loved watching talent competitions, so the parody was a highlight for me whenever we watched the sequel. My reaction as a little kid is exactly why Shrek became so popular, because the writers weren't afraid to get meta and reference the outside world, pulling the audience into the narrative by continuously referencing things they were familiar with. Sometimes these references were subtle enough to make viewers pause the film and point at their screen. For example, many locations in the Kingdom of Far, Far Away refer directly to real-life locations and popular retail chains. My favorites include Old McDonald's, Baskin Robin Hood, and Epiphany and Company. These subtle nods help make the fantasy world found in Shrek feel a little more modern, even with dragons, evil fairy godmothers, and princesses locked in towers being in abundance. I suspect we'll see even more in Shrek 5, as the teaser trailer already gave us a glimpse of modern technology. The Magic Mirror parodied social media, showcasing edits of Shrek and proving his lasting popularity.
What do you reckon we should do with him?
I say we take the sword and neuter him right here. Give him the Bob Barker treatment.
Number 4. Spins on classic fairy tales. Shrek wouldn't be the same without its twist on classic fairy tales. The franchise isn't afraid to take inspiration from the darker source material when creating its iteration of each character and their struggles. Right out of the gate, Fiona is locked in a tower similar to Rapunzel and expects a handsome knight like Prince Charming to save her. Yet the story subverts expectations by sending Shrek to rescue her instead, only for the pair to fall in love and Fiona to choose her life as an ogre. The rest of the films follow these same twists and turns, taking the characters on unexpected journeys that give them and the audience new perspectives. Sometimes these changes can be quite literal, like in Shrek 2 when Shrek drinks a potion titled Happily Ever After, which temporarily transforms his appearance to turn him into a human, due to his desperation to gain approval from Fiona's parents. During his time as a human, he saw how the world would interact with him differently through appearance alone, but soon learned that Fiona ultimately loved him regardless of what he looked like. It's one of those situations where we might expect Cinderella to be a sweet and soft-spoken princess, but in the Shrek universe, she won't hesitate to take off her glass slipper and use its heel as a lethal weapon. You never know what to expect with these films, and that's part of the fun. I'm looking forward to the new direction the film will take, especially after the franchise went far enough to introduce Death himself into the extended Shrek universe in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. As far as I'm concerned, the sky is the limit.
Now, I don't mean to brag, but I make a mean weed rat stew.
Number 5. Ahead of its time humor. One reason the Shrek franchise remains so successful despite the first film released over 20 years ago is that the humor is timeless. These films are for everyone to enjoy, unlike most animated movies, which tone themselves down to be family-friendly, yet still cater primarily to a younger demographic. When audiences were younger and watching the earlier Shrek films upon their release, many of the jokes and references went over their heads. However, those same moments often earned laughter from parents watching alongside them. Over time, fans have recognized that Shrek was ahead of its time, seamlessly blending sharp humor with heartfelt storytelling. If the writers behind the next installment can recapture even a fraction of the predecessor's iconic wit, then Shrek 5 will be in good hands.
Look down. Keep on moving. Don't look down. Don't look down. Keep on moving and don't look down.
While not everyone considered themselves die-hard Shrek fans, the films were a staple in many households, playing on repeat and leaving a lasting impression. Now, with a more mature perspective, audiences can appreciate the humor and narrative depth in ways they couldn't as children. It's as I said, the Shrek franchise is timeless, and despite being an animated production, it's never shied away from making itself appealing to a broad audience, meaning viewers of all ages will find themselves in theaters when Shrek 5 premieres, prepared to laugh, cry, and make a few hours worth of new memories.
Okay, just watch the cake. I'll go get some.
Watch the cake?
Oh, where's the cake?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you've got to do is call.